life begins in fragility. Danger is ever present, though often unseen. Every step carries its own risk. A moment's distraction, and it is over. Only the resilient will survive. Here, on the vast plains of East Africa, the dawn brings more than just light. It signals the beginning of a never-ending race for survival. The sun, like a giant amber eye, slowly surveys a land that has changed little over millions of years. Beneath the simmering heat that rises from the earth, every breath taken by its creatures is a colossal effort. The dry season has been long, and now, every drop of water in the parched riverbeds is treasured like a priceless jewel. From the silent, heavy footfalls of giant elephant families that make the ground tremble, to the sharp, quiet gaze of a master predator, hidden deep within the sun-scorched grass. All the inhabitants of this land, great and small, are preparing for a new chapter in their lives. This is a drama written by instinct, where the line between life and death is as thin as a thread in the wind. Welcome to the Savannah, where nature's symphony resounds each day, harsh yet utterly magnificent. A story of resilience and courage etched into every grain of dust and every blade of grass of this fabled African land. In the shadow of giants, a complex social order works to defy the harshness of nature. Leading their journey is the Matriarch, a commander with over 50 years of experience surviving in these arid lands. Within her memory lies an invisible map of secret water sources, places her ancestors sought for centuries. The herd moves slowly, each step a careful calculation to conserve energy under the searing midday sun. Their destination is a riverbed that has been bone dry for months, now just a stark, white scar of sand. But to a seasoned matriarch, this appearance is merely the landscape's disguise. She stops, using her sensitive trunk to probe for moisture hidden deep beneath the hot sand, a skill honed over millions of years of evolution. With her powerful feet and immense strength, she begins to dig, patiently pushing aside layers of earth to create a deep pit. The curious calves watch from the side, trying to learn how to control their clumsy trunks in imitation of their mother. For these younger members, this is the most vital lesson they will ever receive, the lesson of patience. After a period of great effort, a miracle finally emerges from the barren earth. A small pool of water, muddy but cool, begins to seep from the bottom of the hole, shimmering in the sunlight. This is not just water. It is a lifeblood, filtered through the sands of time. The family takes turns to enjoy this precious reward, but they do not keep it for themselves. By digging these wells, the elephants have unwittingly become the master engineers of the plains. When they move on, these pits will become life-saving oases for thousands of other, smaller creatures parched with thirst. The presence of these giants brings hope, a testament to the power of altruism and ancient wisdom in the heart of the savannah. Not far away, a strange alliance is maintained between the tallest and the shortest of the plains. Giraffes stand like living watchtowers, their views stretching for miles towards the horizon. Their large eyes, shielded by long lashes, constantly scan the bushland for any unusual movement. At their feet, a family of warthogs is busy digging into the hard soil for succulent roots. For the warthogs, the giraffes are not just neighbors, they are the most reliable early warning system. As long as the giraffes' heads remain high, it means this world is, for the moment, at peace. But this safety is relative and extremely fragile in a land of predators. A male warthog separates from his family, moving towards a dense acacia thicket where the tall sentinel's view is obscured. He is too engrossed in his meal to notice that a shadow has begun to stir on the other side of the leaves. In the world of the savannah, a few seconds of inattention are enough to completely alter a creature's fate. The warthog stops abruptly, its short ears pricked to catch the subtlest sounds on the wind. Silence is sometimes the most terrifying sign, a warning that the killer is now too close to make a sound. In the distance, the giraffe begins to turn its long neck, its eyes focusing on the same direction as the warthogs, creating a moment of suspended drama. A silent understanding between two completely different species. The threat is near, and this game of hide and seek is about to end. Everything now depends on who will make the first move in this tense battle of wits. In the breathtaking silence of the late afternoon, the silhouette of the savannah's greatest predator begins to emerge. A lioness, separated from her pride, is on the most important hunt of the day. She lowers her center of gravity, every sinewy muscle moving smoothly beneath her sand-colored coat. In this world, invisibility is the most formidable weapon. She does not see with her eyes alone. She feels the rhythm of the plains through each soft footfall on the warm earth. Ahead, the zebra herd grazes on the last dry grasses, completely unaware that death has drawn near. When a zebra lifts its head, the lioness freezes, as still as a stone statue amidst the yellow grass. The wind is in her favor, a rare offering of support from nature to the solitary hunter. The distance is now less than 20 yards. The tension is so thick in the air, it feels as if it could be touched. Suddenly, a maelstrom of dust erupts as the lioness launches her fatal sprint. The herd panics, hundreds of black and white stripes merging into a bewildering visual matrix. But the hunter has already locked onto her target. A precise lunge, a powerful takedown. The chase is over as quickly as it began. The lioness stands, her breath coming in heavy gasps, her chest heaving under the late afternoon sun. All around, a deathly stillness returns, as if no struggle ever took place. Nature itself has no compassion. It has only a stark impartiality. For the zebra, this is the end of a journey. But for the lioness's family waiting in the thicket, this is the beginning of life. As the sun begins to sink below the horizon, a crimson curtain falls, veiling the drama that has just unfolded. The intense heat of the day gradually fades, replaced by the cool night air seeping through the baobab trees. In the twilight, the lioness rests quietly, a rare moment of stillness after the phenomenal effort to sustain life. In the distance, the elephant herd continues its march, their giant silhouettes etched against the brilliant sky like guardians of time. On the savannah, death is not an end, but a necessary transfer of energy that keeps the great cycle of nature turning. Every creature we have witnessed from the giant to the smallest soul, plays an irreplaceable role in this grand symphony. Hardship forges beauty, and fragility forges strength. When night falls completely, another world will awaken, with new struggles and new hopes beneath the moon. But for today, the story has closed in its inherent peace and order. Tomorrow, when the first rays of sun touch the golden grasses again, the great journey of life will begin once more. A perfect circle with no beginning and no end in the wildest and most wondrous land on our planet. But as the vibrant African sun recedes, we journey thousands of miles to the north to face an entirely different challenge, the bitter cold of the timeless taiga forests. In the darkness of the taiga, a shadow weighing over 400 pounds glides across the snow without a sound. The Amur tiger, the largest cat on Earth, moves with the calm of a king who has reigned since the dawn of time. A coat, over 4 inches thick, covers its entire body, blending perfectly among the snow-laden birch trees, each step so light that even the snow cannot betray it. But even this king must bow before one forced the Siberian winter. Siberia stretches across nearly 5 million square miles, covering roughly 9% of Earth's entire land surface. A territory spanning 11 time zones, from the Urals to the Pacific coast. To the west, beyond the Urals, immense marshlands extend over 1,000 miles, like an ocean of earth. Then the taiga appears dense, boundless like a continent of its own, where every tree carries the memory of 10,000 winters. To the east, at Russia's farthest edge, dozens of active volcanoes guard the kingdom's final frontier. Hundreds of vertebrate species call this land home. But by October, the Russian winter has already begun. Over the next 8 months, temperatures in the coldest regions can plunge to nearly minus 90 degrees Fahrenheit. Snow erases every boundary between sky and earth. Rivers turn into endless mirrors of ice. The sun vanishes, and Siberia sinks into darkness. But appearances deceive. Beneath that thick blanket of snow, life has not stopped, it is fighting. And what happens next will prove that in the harshest place on Earth, life still finds a way to burn. Welcome to WildVerse, where we explore the most extraordinary stories of the natural world. Where the Arctic coastline freezes over again, a white giant materializes amid the blizzard. The polar bear does not fear winter, it awaits it. Weighing up to 1,700 pounds and standing over 10 feet tall on its hind legs, this is the largest land predator on the planet. Beneath its dense white fur, a layer of insulating fat encases the entire body, allowing the polar bear to move through bone-chilling cold as if weather simply does not exist. On the harshest days, this fat can account for a third of total body weight, a lipid armor that millions of years of evolution designed exclusively for the Arctic. When a thin layer of ice forms over the Arctic Sea, the bear does not hesitate. The northward expedition begins immediately. The target is the ringed seal, the primary prey that sustains polar bears through the long winter. The hunting technique seems simple, but demands astonishing patience. The bear lies motionless beside a breathing hole that a seal has carved into the ice, sometimes submerging its entire muzzle into the snow to conceal its warm breath. Sometimes it waits for hours, sometimes entire days. Time holds no meaning when hunger commands everything. When the unfortunate seal surfaces to breathe, it meets a massive jaw waiting above. One precise strike, and the meal ends before the seal understands what happened. If the ice is unfavorable, the polar bear plunges into the sea without hesitation. Its oversized paws transform it into a fearsome swimmer, capable of covering over 50 miles non-stop. One female was recorded swimming continuously for 9 days across more than 400 miles of open sea, a feat that astonished even scientists. With a meal capacity of nearly 90 pounds per sitting, not only seals but seabirds, fish, and even walruses appear on this giant's menu. When blizzards strike with winds exceeding 60 miles per hour, the polar bear digs a small hollow in the snow and waits for the storm to pass. Sometimes for days on end, without food, without water, only patience keeps them alive. But even the king of ice must sometimes fight. When two males meet, peace is not an option. They rise on their hind legs and slam into each other with forepaws, weighing hundreds of pounds, battling over territory, prey, or the right to mate. The ice trembles. Only the stronger one walks away without scars. But the polar bear is not the only giant on this frozen tundra. Beneath the dark water, another creature is stirring. The walrus surfaces from the Arctic seabed, weighing up to 4,200 pounds a frame, nearly the size of a small car. With thousands of miles of drift ice covering the northern coastline, the walrus considers the Siberian winter not a challenge, but a private paradise. A 6-inch layer of blubber beneath the skin keeps body temperature stable, even though surrounding water hovers just above freezing. Walrus skin can even change color, turning pink when warm, pale white when diving deep to regulate body heat. Its white tusks, over 3 feet long, are the most versatile tools in the natural world, used to haul its massive body onto ice, carve breathing holes, fight for territory, and defend against predators. Each day, walruses dive to depths between 100 and 260 feet, groping through the darkness of the seafloor for 30 minutes at a time. Their whiskers, hundreds of sensitive bristles, serve as sonar during lightless dives, detecting clams, mussels, and marine worms hidden beneath the mud. When food is found, the walrus uses its tusks to plow the seabed, then crushes everything into a nutritious paste swallowed on the spot. Unlucky seals trapped between drifting ice floes also become prey. The massive walrus charges forward, pins them with its forelimbs, and finishes them with its tusks, no small meal for the northern giant. But even the mighty have enemies. Killer whales, supreme swimmers, are the walrus's greatest nightmare. Fleeing to small ice floes is useless. With raw muscular power, orcas can tip an ice sheet with a single charge. To escape, walruses must reach higher ground, where thick ice measured in feet separates them from the jaws of their enemy. In the depths of the Siberian winter, while most species think only of survival, walruses think of love. Mating season begins. Massive bulls charge at each other, wielding tusks like swords, bodies like shields. The ice shudders beneath their weight. The victor earns access to the females. After mating, the cow will carry her calf for 16 months before delivering a newborn weighing over 160 pounds. But all of that lies ahead. The winter is still far from over. Farther south, where the dense taiga swallows every sound, the struggle for survival plays out on land where life and death are separated by a single wrong step. Amid blizzards with winds exceeding 60 miles per hour and cold that freezes everything, the caribou stands firm like a warrior that refuses to yield. Weighing up to over 400 pounds with antlers nearly 5 feet long, the caribou is one of the largest mammals still living on the Arctic tundra. The secret to survival lies on their very bodies. Each strand of caribou fur is a hollow tube filled with air, creating a natural insulation layer more effective than any coat humans have ever engineered. That hollow fur also helps them float when swimming across rivers, a dual advantage that nature designed with care. Before winter strikes, the entire herd has already begun migrating south hundreds of miles, in groups numbering thousands. Staying in the frozen Arctic means a death sentence. At their wintering grounds, the herd huddles together, keeping warm and watching for predators. Their coat gradually turns white, blending perfectly into the pale northern forest. Dense forest blocks the wind. Natural depressions provide shelter, but empty stomachs do not allow caribou to hide forever. They must venture out, facing the flesh-cutting cold to find food. The choice is never easy: starve or freeze. Their large, flat hooves function as natural snowshoes, allowing caribou to traverse snow deeper than 5 feet without sinking. One wrong step could trap them in frozen Siberia. Those same hooves become digging tools. Caribou scrape deep through thick snow, searching for moss, lichen, and fungi food that other mammals would never detect. Their extraordinary sense of smell allows them to detect fungi buried under feet of snow, a rare delicacy amid a barren ecosystem. When they need up to 11 pounds of food per day, every small morsel is precious. But that same sense of smell also saves their lives. Hundreds of predators lurk out there, waiting for a careless caribou. Sharp vision and keen hearing detect enemies from afar. In an instant, the entire herd erupts into a run at 50 miles per hour long legs, carrying them beyond death's reach. When cornered with no room to run, their sharp antlers become weapons. One precise thrust is enough to force an attacker to retreat. But winter is long and merciless. One wrong step, and a caribou plunges into deep snow like quicksand, trapped, helpless, waiting for death to slowly arrive. Only spring can liberate them, when scavengers feast on the banquet that winter left behind. The herd can only press forward, hoping that when the frozen steppe turns to green pasture again, all the suffering will be just a memory. Not far from the caribou's shelter, deep in the snow-covered taiga, a howl tears through the silence. The grey wolves are waking. With packs of 6 to 15 individuals and each adult requiring about 9 pounds of meat per day, wolves have no interest in small prey. They need something worthy of the entire pack. The targets are caribou, deer, elk, and wild boar, prey large enough to feed more than a dozen hungry stomachs. To locate prey across Siberia's immensity, the wolf pack relies on a sense of smell refined to an astonishing degree. When they catch the scent, the entire pack silently follows the trail. With exceptional night vision, midnight hunts pose no obstacle. For wolves, darkness is an ally. First tactic, encirclement. When the forest is thick enough, wolves split and close in from multiple directions before attacking simultaneously. Surprise is everything one extra sound, and the prey vanishes. If a caribou already struggles against a single wolf, weighing over 100 pounds, facing the entire pack is nearly impossible. Second tactic, the relay chase. Wolves take turns pursuing prey over many miles, each running a stretch before yielding to the next. No obstacle can stop that endurance. The prey runs faster, but wolves run longer. After a prolonged chase, the outcome is almost always the same. The prey collapses from exhaustion and is brought down with a precise bite to the neck. Minutes later, the entire pack shares the kill. Wolves never refuse a free meal either. When a herbivore herd has a weak or injured member, wolves do not hesitate, they charge straight in, releasing the prey from its suffering. Spring brings an unexpected gift. Snow melts slowly, revealing frozen carcasses from months past, a complimentary feast that Siberia's temperatures preserved perfectly. The pack's survival depends on a hierarchy as strict as a military chain of command. The alpha male makes every decision: where to hunt, where to rest, when to fight. The beta stands behind, waiting. When the alpha ages or falls, the beta will be the heir. When a young male challenges the throne, The alpha proves dominance through posture, growls, and if necessary with fangs. Sometimes, young males born into a leadership lineage inherit the position from their father. Power is a privilege, but also a burden, because the leader must ensure the entire pack survives the winter. The true test comes when the next blizzard arrives. Not far from the wolf pack's patrol route, atop the tallest frost-covered tree in the forest, the golden eagle surveys everything below. With a wingspan of 6 to 7.5 feet and weighing up to 14 pounds, the golden eagle is no small bird that flees south when winter knocks. It chose to stay, a decision that only those atop the food chain dare to make. Its dense waterproof plumage is the first shield against daily snowfall. Each feather overlaps like roof tiles, keeping body temperature stable even when the mercury drops to seemingly impossible lows. The golden eagle's eyes possess two fovea instead of one vision 8 times sharper than a human's. At a distance of 2 miles, it can spot a rabbit hiding in the snow. In a world without light, that is an unmatched advantage. But winter also makes prey scarce. The golden eagle must shift tactics, turning to smaller prey. Hares, voles, squirrels. Anything that provides protein without demanding excessive energy. When a target is spotted, the eagle folds its wings and dives at speeds reaching 200 miles per hour, the fastest stoop in the avian world. The prey rarely has time to react. Possible lows. Razor-sharp talons lock on. One blow to the nape. The meal is over in seconds. But when winter grows too harsh and prey too rare, even royalty must eat leftovers. Kills from other predators, victims of the cold, everything is accepted. That is Siberia's rule in winter. One species' death is another's survival, a cycle that never stops. And then, as if the entire land exhales one long sigh of relief, spring arrives. Slowly, surely, temperatures begin to rise. Thick snow melts away, revealing lush green grass bursting forth with fierce vitality. Rivers shackled by ice for months now sing their song of freedom. The first sunlight in months paints the horizon gold. Thousands of species that once fled winter begin returning. Migratory birds fill the sky, their songs flooding the air, heralding an entirely new reality across the Siberian landscape. This is perhaps the most spectacular wild explosion that Siberia can offer, where just weeks ago, every creature trembled for survival, now transforms into paradise on Earth. But only those species that stayed, that endured the cold from beginning to end, truly understand the value of spring. If you too are captivated by the grandeur of Siberia, share with WildVerse in the comments which species impressed you the most. And with life's return, new battles also begin. In southern Siberia, on barren rocky slopes, where life seems impossible, the ghost of the mountains watches over its territory. At elevations above 10,000 feet, the snow leopard lives a solitary life. With a weight exceeding 100 pounds and pale grey fur blending perfectly into the stone, this great cat vanishes before its prey's eyes as though it never existed. Its total length reaches nearly 8 feet, including its tail, a tail nearly as long as its body, thick enough to wrap around its face for warmth each night on freezing rock ledges. Its unusually large paws, covered entirely in fur, function as natural snowshoes on steep terrain. And its remarkably large nasal cavity warms frigid air before it reaches the lungs at altitudes where oxygen is thin. That is nature's answer to the equation of survival. Where deer or caribou rarely appear, the snow leopard focuses on species daring enough to enter its domain: Siberian ibex, musk deer, and mountain rodents. When a target is spotted, the snow leopard advances extremely slowly, pressing itself flat against the rock. Patience here is a matter of life and death, a failed hunt means precious energy wasted. A position from above is ideal. After observing long enough, the ghost launches itself leaping up to 50 feet through the air, landing directly on the prey's back. A bite to the neck ends everything. When a chase is needed on steep terrain, powerful legs drive the snow leopard to 50 miles per hour. No matter how fast the prey runs, it cannot outrun a ghost. Strangely though, one of the most formidable big cats, the snow leopard, cannot roar. A larynx too short only allows it to produce raspy calls and soft hisses. But that silence is a weapon. On mountain peaks where sound carries for miles, the one that makes no noise is the most dangerous of all. Snow leopards fiercely guard their territory. When two males meet at a boundary, the confrontation unfolds in silence. Only the scratch of claws on rock and heavy breathing echo among the Siberian mountains. Viewed from space, Africa appears as a colossal geological mass, a deep and ancient incision on the surface of our planet. This continent is a work of grand sculpture, molded over hundreds of millions of years by the most primal of geological forces. In the east, the Great Rift Valley carves a dramatic fissure, exposing cliffs of million-year-old limestone and alkaline lakes that blaze red beneath the equatorial sun. The light here has a scorching power, transforming the vast sand deserts of the north into seas of incandescent gold, shifting endlessly to the call of the trade winds. But Africa is also a world of extreme contrasts, where somber tropical rainforests maintain a perpetual green and a saturated humidity. The continent's cycle is marked by torrential rainy seasons, which turn fields of sun-scorched grass into carpets of lush vegetation in just a few short days. The air here carries the scent of baked earth, of dry grass, and of storms gathering on the far-flung horizon. This land is a museum of topography. From volcanic peaks perennially capped with snow, to vast river basins flowing through thousands of miles of dense jungle. It is in the breathtaking theater of these grand landscapes that life has had to strive to its utmost to survive and to flourish. And now, from the heart of these wild lands, we will begin our journey to meet the most celebrated characters, the proudest representatives of the great continent. On the vast plains of Africa, where heat and gravity are unrelenting challenges, life has engineered extraordinary solutions. We begin with a giant, a creature whose every footstep carries the weight of millions of years of evolution, the African elephant. To operate a body weighing up to 6 tons, nature has endowed it with the most versatile appendage in the natural world, the trunk. This flexible structure is a marvel of anatomy, woven from over 40,000 individual muscle bundles with not a single bone for support. Able to uproot a tree, and the utmost delicacy to pick up a single tiny thorn from the ground. But the true secret of the elephant lies not in our line of sight, but deep beneath the soles of its colossal feet. For decades, it remained a mystery how these herds could coordinate their movements in perfect synchrony across dozens of miles. The answer lies in infrasound, low-frequency vibrations, imperceptible to the human ear, which travel with a remarkable efficiency through the ground. The soles of an elephant's feet contain millions of specialized nerve receptors called Pacinian corpuscles, transforming them into living seismic receiving stations. Every call from an individual elephant generates ripples of vibration in the Earth's crust, allowing them to communicate and detect danger from up to 93 miles away. Indeed, the elephant's intelligence is powered by the largest brain of any land animal, with exceptionally well-developed temporal lobes. This is where memory maps of water sources and migration routes are stored across generations, a living library of knowledge vital for the herd's survival through harsh droughts. Even the elephant's wrinkled skin is an intelligent design. Its network of tiny crevices retains moisture and mud 10 times longer than flat skin, helping it to regulate body temperature effectively under the equatorial sun. While the elephant commands the ground with its deep, resonant vibrations, another giant reaches for the sky in a completely different manner. The giraffe stands taller than any other terrestrial creature, a position that gives it access to a rich food source high in the canopy, beyond the reach of all others. However, to sustain life at a height of nearly 20 feet, the giraffe must contend with an invisible but merciless enemy, the hydrostatic pressure of its own blood. To pump blood against gravity to a brain some 6.5 feet above its heart, the giraffe possesses a 24-pound heart that generates blood pressure twice that of a human. But such immense blood pressure would be a death sentence when a giraffe bends down to drink, causing blood to flood the brain under the force of gravity. Nature's solution is an engineering masterpiece known as the rete mirabile, the wonderful net. This is a complex system of elastic blood vessels at the base of the brain, which acts as an intelligent pressure regulator, absorbing powerful surges and smoothing out the flow. This is complemented by one-way valves in the jugular veins, which snap shut when the giraffe lowers its head, completely preventing a brain hemorrhage from the spike in pressure. It is not just the cardiovascular system. The giraffe's long legs are also a remarkable biomedical achievement. The skin on its legs is incredibly thick and tightly bound to the muscle fibers, functioning precisely like the G-suit of a fighter pilot. This pressure from the skin prevents blood from pooling and causing edema in the lower limbs, maintaining stable circulation despite the enormous column of fluid pressing down on its hooves. Even its tongue is optimized for this harsh environment. It is nearly 20 inches long, extremely flexible, and dark in color due to a high concentration of melanin. This protection prevents the tongue from getting sunburnt as it constantly reaches out to strip leaves in the scorching Savannah sun. Furthermore, the giraffe's saliva has powerful antiseptic properties, helping it to digest the sharp thorns of the acacia tree without injury. Both the elephant and the giraffe are not merely large creatures. They are walking marvels of hydraulic and biomechanical engineering. Every detail of their bodies, from the nerve cells in an elephant's foot to the vascular network of a giraffe, is a perfect answer to the harsh questions posed by their environment. Africa is not just a wilderness, it is a grand exhibition of the most sophisticated biological solutions the Earth has ever produced. Leaving the sun-drenched grasslands, we venture deep into the somber wetlands of East Africa, where time seems to have stood still for millions of years. Amidst the towering papyrus reeds, a bizarre silhouette emerges, as silent and motionless as a statue carved from grey stone. It is the shoebill, a creature that carries the breath of the Cretaceous period, a true living fossil in the heart of the 21st century. Its enormous bill, from which it gets its memorable name, is in fact a marvel of aerodynamic design and mechanical strength. With its shoe-shaped structure and a sharp hook at the tip, this bill is the perfect instrument for clamping down on slippery lungfish in the muddy waters. Yet, the most fascinating thing about this bird is not its bill, but its ability to enter a state of biological stasis. The shoebill can stand completely still for hours on end, an ultimate energy conservation strategy that allows it to survive in an environment where resources are scarce. When it is motionless, its heart rate and metabolism are dialed down to a minimum, turning it into a part of the landscape to deceive both prey and predator. Their brilliant yellow eyes can see into the depths of the water, thanks to a symmetrical arrangement that allows for binocular vision with extremely high depth perception accuracy. In a world of constant change, the shoebill is a testament to the power of patience and a body plan that has required no modification for millions of years. Leaving the still waters, we move into the arid scrubland, where another of nature's architects works quietly beneath a rough and rugged exterior. The black rhino, one of the continent's most ancient residents, appears like an armored tank amidst the sharp thorns of the bushveld. Its most defining feature, the proud, upward curving horn, is not, in fact, bone, nor is it attached to the skull in the conventional way. Biochemically, the rhino's horn is composed entirely of keratin, the very same protein that constitutes our own hair and fingernails. However, these keratin fibers are compressed to an incredible density and reinforced with calcium and melanin deposits, creating a structure that is both durable and self-sharpening over time. Unlike its cousin, the white rhino, the black rhino possesses an extremely flexible, prehensile upper lip, which can deftly wrap around and strip leaves from the thorniest of bushes. This is a sophisticated evolutionary solution, allowing it to exploit a food source that most other herbivores must avoid. Despite its formidable and massive physique, the black rhino has very limited eyesight, Its world is a blur of indistinct shapes beyond a distance of 30 feet. But to compensate, nature has gifted it a highly sensitive biological radar system through its optimized senses of smell and hearing. The black rhino's nose is not just for breathing. It is a complex chemical analyzer that helps it build a three-dimensional scent map of its surroundings. Through the Jacobson's organ, located in the roof of its mouth, it can decipher hidden pheromonal messages, learning the age and health of individuals that have recently passed by. Its ears can swivel independently through 360 degrees, like satellite dishes, picking up the faintest sound waves from strangers approaching in the dense thicket. To protect its sensitive skin under the harsh sun, the black rhino has become an expert in mud therapy to maintain its body's moisture. The dried mud on its body is not only a natural sunblock, but also a biological suit of armor that repels harassing parasites from its skin. The story of the black rhino is a lesson in the perfect balance between brute strength and the delicate senses hidden beneath its grey exterior. In the twilight, the silhouettes of these two ancient creatures remind us of a distant past, where life was shaped by the most fundamental laws. Leaving the dense bush, our journey takes us to the searing alkaline lakes, where life persists under the most extreme chemical conditions. Lake Natron appears like another planet, a world of highly concentrated alkaline salts and temperatures that can scald unprotected skin. But it is here that millions of flamingos create a dazzling sea of pink, a spectacle that defies all rules of survival. Flamingos are master chemists, possessing a miraculous ability to transform pigments from their food into the beauty of their plumage. That characteristic pink color is not present at birth, but is the result of absorbing carotenoids from the microalgae and brine shrimp in the alkaline water. To survive in this extremely high pH environment, a flamingo's legs are covered by an incredibly tough, keratinized skin that resists the corrosive effects of the salt and minerals. Their bill is a sophisticated mechanical filter, operating on a reverse principle to most other birds. When feeding, they hold their head upside down in the water, using their tongue as a hydraulic pump to force water through fine, comb-like plates called lamellae. This system allows them to filter out microscopic organisms while expelling all the excess mud and salt water. Even more remarkably, flamingos possess specialized salt glands located near their nostrils, which efficiently excrete excess sodium chloride from their bloodstream. One of the greatest mysteries of this bird has been its habit of sleeping while standing on one leg. Recent biological studies have revealed this is not an act of exertion, but rather a passive, gravity-assisted locking of the joint. When standing on one leg, the flamingo's body settles into a state of perfect mechanical equilibrium, allowing it to rest without expending any muscular energy. At the same time, tucking one leg into its feathers helps to minimize heat loss from its lower extremities in the cool water at night. Under the brilliant midday sun of the savannah, Africa's great cats are not busy hunters, but masters of adaptation to extreme conditions. The lion appears amidst the golden grasses as an icon of stillness and ultimate energy management. They are experts in thermodynamics, spending up to 20 hours a day resting in the shade, a biological tactic to maintain body temperature and conserve calories for crucial moments. However, that silence can be shattered by one of the most powerful sounds in nature, a roar that carries for up to 5 miles. Science has traced this mystery to their uniquely square-shaped larynx, which allows the vocal cords to vibrate powerfully without immense pulmonary pressure. A male lion's mane, under the sunlight, is not merely ornamental, but a thermoregulatory device and a biological gauge of testosterone levels. The growth and color of the mane provide precise information about the individual's health and immune fitness to both the pride and its rivals. The social structure of the lion pride is a laboratory of cooperation, where individuals share knowledge of their territory and collectively care for the next generation within a strict hierarchy. While the lion commands the plains with its overt power, the leopard chooses a different perspective, higher and quieter, among the branches of ancient trees. In the clear light of day, we can admire the extraordinary physical mechanism that allows this cat to haul a carcass 3 times its own body weight vertically into a tree. The secret lies in the dense concentration of fast-twitch muscle fibers, which generate explosive power and a pulling force far beyond the normal standards for a mammal. The leopard's shoulder blade is not rigidly attached to the rib cage, creating a flexible range of motion that helps it to climb with absolute precision. Even its coat is a wonder of identification. The rosette patterns around its face and eyes are completely unique, acting like a biological QR code to distinguish each individual. Under the harsh sun, a leopard uses its long tail as a dynamic counterweight, helping it to maintain stability on the most slender of branches. These great cats, each in its own way, are living proof of evolution's refinements to achieve a perfect balance between power and efficiency. Africa by day is not just about physical beauty. It is a profound lesson in how nature optimizes every available resource to sustain life. Our journey through this great continent has revealed a new perspective on life, a place where nature does not merely exist, but shines as a masterpiece of natural engineering. From the infrasonic communication network of the elephant to the miraculous blood pressure system of the giraffe, each creature is a testament to the brilliance of evolution. None of these details are random. They are exquisite cogs in a great ecological machine that has been running steadfastly for millions of years. Africa is where every muscle fiber, every strand of hair, and every roar carries a precise and astounding scientific purpose. A deep understanding of these mechanisms not only enhances the beauty of the natural world, but also helps us to recognize the preciousness of biological balance. As the sun sets over the vast plains, this continent continues its endless cycle of refinement beneath a canopy of stars. This is the Earth's greatest design, a legacy of adaptation that we have a responsibility to understand and to preserve for all time. Unlike the lion prides in drier regions, such as the Serengeti or Etosha, the lions of the Okavango must adapt to a world defined by water. Each flood season transforms the delta into a labyrinth of channels and islands. Unlike most large felines, which tend to avoid water, the Okavango lions regularly swim across broad, deep channels. Their musculature, particularly around the shoulders and chest, is more developed from constantly moving through water and mud. On average, the males here can weigh between 530 and 550 pounds, and the females from 350 to 375 pounds, some of the heaviest lions recorded in Africa. Their primary prey is the Cape buffalo, hooved giants weighing over 1,300 pounds, renowned for their ferocity and resistance. To bring down a single adult buffalo, the Okavango lions must execute highly coordinated attacks, often splitting into groups to distract and ambush. From reed beds taller than a man, 3 shadows creep forward. A powerful lioness, her eyes glowing like embers, leads 2 young males who follow closely behind. Their target is in sight. A herd of Cape buffalo wades through a shallow marsh, the young sheltered between the towering bodies of the adults. Wary, but not alarmed. The trap closes. A buffalo cow realizes it too late. She turns and charges with all her might, but one of the young males has already closed in, leaping onto the calf's shoulder. From the side, the lioness sinks her teeth deep into the buffalo's belly, bringing it to its knees. In a spray of mud, the calf lets out a desperate cry as it is dragged into the dense reeds. The hunt is over. Among lions, it is the females who are the core of the hunt. The Great Migration, a thundering vortex of millions of wildebeest and zebra on the move. Ngorongoro Crater, the largest intact volcanic caldera on Earth, home to magnificent black-maned lions. Beneath the towering peak of Kilimanjaro, a crowned eagle dives, sending a troop of monkeys into a panic. Nile crocodiles lie still as stone in the twilight, cradled by the world's longest river. To the south, the Okavango Delta, the largest inland delta, where African wild dogs hunt together like seasoned warriors. The list of champions extends to the Sahara, the vast hot desert stretching across 11 North African nations. And finally, off the coast of Egypt, reef sharks glide in silence, the unseen guardians of the Red Sea Reef. Seven wonders, 7 stories of power, hardship, and breathtaking beauty that leave the world in awe. Let us turn back time, some 2.5 million years ago. A colossal volcano, believed to have been taller than Kilimanjaro is today, erupted and then collapsed in on itself. The remains of that eruption created a nearly perfect circular caldera, 12 miles across, with a floor of 100 square miles, the Ngorongoro crater. Encircling the crater are cliffs over 2,000 feet high, standing like immense ramparts sculpted from fire and time. A natural fortress, isolated, yet teeming with life. That isolation has not weakened, but rather has given birth to a unique and resilient ecosystem. The fertile basaltic soil, formed from ancient lava, has become the foundation for endless green pastures. Here, grass is the spark that ignites life in a complete food chain, sustaining the entire web of creatures within the crater. Some 25,000 large mammals are permanent residents of the Ngorongoro crater. It is also one of the very few places in Africa where one can still witness the Big Five in a single day. Beyond its ecological richness, Ngorongoro is a rare intersection of nature and human history. Within the Ngorongoro Conservation Area are two of the world's most important archaeological sites, Olduvai Gorge and Leopard. At Olduvai, researchers have unearthed hominin fossils dating back some 1.9 million years. Nearby, at Leopard, footprints preserved in volcanic ash for 3.6 million years have revealed the first steps of our human ancestors. Deep within the Ngorongoro crater, a place often described as a primal arena of life, there exists a bird cloaked in brilliant pink plumage, like a sunset stretched across the salt flats. For the lesser flamingo, a small yet proud bird, the Ngorongoro crater is an extraordinary natural restaurant in the Tanzanian highlands. At the center of the crater lies Lake Magadi, a shallow alkaline salt lake, which, though seemingly harsh, is fertile ground for explosive blooms of spirulina cyanobacteria. This alga is the almost exclusive food source for the lesser flamingo. Rich in carotenoids, the algae impart their signature pink hue to the bird's feathers, as if dyed by the very sun of the equatorial sky. This beak is not a mouth, but a sophisticated, living harvesting machine. When held upside down in the alkaline water, it becomes a precision engine, filtering the essence of life from a caustic solution. It is a tool perfected over millennia, designed to find nourishment where others see only barrenness. Although found in many parts of Africa, nearly 80% of the world's lesser flamingo population, estimated at 2.2 to 3.2 million individuals in 2025, now thrives in East Africa. Lake Magadi serves as a crucial stopover in their life cycle, a perfect refueling station when the larger lakes run dry. A shift in alkalinity, or the loss of their food source under the pressures of climate change. As the pink blush of the lesser flamingo flock fades across the alkaline lake, the vast landscape of Ngorongoro settles into silence. Within this 100-square-mile caldera, a prehistoric creature still endures. Unassuming, quiet, the black rhinoceros moves slowly, as if carrying the last breath of the wild on its shoulders. The crater provides all the essential elements for the black rhino's survival. Stable water sources, like the Mung Spring and the Gorigor Swamp, are always near. Although their numbers here are only around 30 individuals, because they are concentrated, in this relatively enclosed space. The Ngorongoro crater has one of the highest densities of black rhinos in Africa. The population here carries extraordinary genetic value. They are not a reintroduced group from elsewhere. But an indigenous lineage, descendants of rhinos that have inhabited this region for thousands of years. In a world where biodiversity is fading, such original genes are of immense importance for long-term research and conservation. The black rhinoceros is a browser. It does not eat short grass, but instead seeks out shrubs, leafy plants, and woody twigs. An adult can consume between 44 and 60 pounds of food a day. Their average lifespan ranges from 30 to 40 years in the wild, and can be longer in stable conditions like those in Ngorongoro. The story of Fausta, believed to be the world's oldest black rhino, who lived to be 57 here, is the clearest testament to the quality of life inside Ngorongoro. However, the Ngorongoro crater is not just a realm of flamingos and black rhinos. It is also a closed dominion of predators. The caracal is a medium-sized cat, built of extraordinary proportions. Its long legs, particularly the hind ones, give it a respectable shoulder height of about 2 feet, while its weight remains light at just 20 to 40 pounds. Its oversized ears, erect like 2 satellite dishes, are fine-tuned to catch the faintest rustle in thick grass or the slightest movement beneath the damp earth. These physical traits make the caracal one of the most effective hunters in the entire cat family. Once it identifies prey, usually rodents, ground-dwelling birds, or small snakes, the caracal stands motionless, the rhythm of its body attuned to even the faintest subterranean scratchings. The caracal can leap up to 6.5 feet into the air to snatch birds in mid-flight or pounce on any small snake within its reach. Their hunting success rate is around 50%, significantly higher than that of larger cats like lions or leopards. As the sun sets behind the crater rim, deep roars echo off the sheer rock faces. It is not just a sound that claims territory, but a declaration of supreme authority from the lion, the apex predator of the Ngorongoro crater. Recent surveys record the lion population here at some 65 to 75 individuals, divided among roughly 8 prides, with a density estimated at 20 to 25 lions for every 39 square miles. But the males here look even more formidable, adorned with dark manes. A lion's mane is influenced by genetics, hormones, and the surrounding climate. Males with darker, even jet black manes, often have higher testosterone levels, are more successful breeders, and tend to live longer. In Ngorongoro, Over 60% of adult males have dark manes. In struggles for dominance, a black mane offers both a physical advantage and is favored by the females. The origin of such power struggles is rooted in history. The black manes of Ngorongoro were born from a nearly forgotten past. A plague once swept through this crater, leaving only a handful of survivors. From their bloodline, this entire kingdom was rebuilt. It is a legacy of resilience, but it came at a price. A shared ancestry so close that every lion here is nearly a reflection of another. A dynasty forged in isolation. In the Ngorongoro crater, the limited territory combines with a high density of prey. This forces prides to live in closer proximity, provoking more frequent territorial clashes. Two male lions emerge from opposite sides. There is no room to retreat. Their roars shake the air, signaling an imminent collision. They crash into each other, a 400-pound impact. Claws tear at the earth, white teeth flash as they aim for the throat. The battle decides more than just land. It is the right to pass on a bloodline and secure a legacy of strength. In the Ngorongoro ecosystem, the victor holds both territory and the right to reproduce, while the loser is cast out from the social order. The predatory life in Ngorongoro reflects flexibility and keen adaptability. While the males spend most of their time patrolling and protecting, it is the lionesses who lead the hunts. Although the average hunting success rate for lions across Africa is only about 18 to 30%. The prides in Ngorongoro can achieve 35 to 40%. Thanks to the abundant prey and cooperative skills honed over generations. A pride of lions has just brought down a zebra. But before they can feast, silent shadows emerge on the periphery. Spotted hyenas. Not one, but many. A piercing cackle rings out like a challenge. This showdown between the two top predators of the Ngorongoro crater is nothing new. It is an age-old rivalry passed down through countless generations. And the Ngorongoro crater is not just a natural fortress, it is an ecological pressure cooker. Due to the confined space and lack of easy escape routes, confrontations between lions and hyenas here occur with greater frequency and intensity than anywhere else on Earth. Numbering from 380 to over 470 individuals, spotted hyenas are the most numerous carnivores in Ngorongoro. Recent surveys confirm the presence of at least 8 clans, each with up to 80 members, thriving in territories no larger than 15 square miles. Their competition with lions extends far beyond battles over carcasses. At such high densities, clashes can occur almost daily. Although lions are superior in strength, spotted hyenas have the advantage in numbers and strategy. This cycle of confrontation has shaped a critical ecological dynamic within the crater, where nothing is certain and the strongest is not always the victor. they are not solitary wanderers. Each clan operates as a highly organized matriarchal society, where the highest rank belongs to the alpha female, and status is passed from mother to daughter. Males, upon reaching maturity, are not permitted to remain in the clan of their birth, but must leave, seeking to join another clan to breed. This mechanism prevents inbreeding within the confined geography of the crater. In this enclosed world, the departure of a young male is not a reckless gamble, but a calculated journey. An invisible network of information seems to guide him, whispers carried on the wind, the scent of a familiar relative in a distant clan. It is an ancient social wisdom, ensuring that even in exile, the path to a new future is never truly lost. They tend to seek out clans to which a twin brother or a legitimate has already migrated, increasing their chances of acceptance and successful breeding. Furthermore, they rely on a complex communication system, from giggles, hisses, and whoops to resounding roars, to locate clan members and coordinate collective actions. In a closed system like Ngorongoro, their laughter echoes like the voice of an ecosystem that is both resilient and profound. The ferocity within the Ngorongoro crater is just one part of the larger tapestry of the East African wilderness. Just to the north, the Serengeti plains stretch out into an endless ocean of grass. This is not an ordinary natural event, but one of the greatest wildlife spectacles remaining on Earth, the Great Migration. Each year, some 1.5 to 2 million wildebeest, along with over 200,000 zebras, 500,000 gazelles, and tens of thousands of eland, embark on a journey of more than 500 miles through the Serengeti Mara ecosystem. And if the Great Migration is a grand symphony of African nature, then the Serengeti is the orchestra, the stage where every rhythm of life begins and is reborn in its endless cycle. Across the more than 5,700 square miles of northern Tanzania, life does not just exist. It explodes with an abundance found nowhere else on Earth. The name Serengeti, in the Maasai language, means the endless plains. An image that captures not only the vastness of space, but also the constant movement and regeneration of life. When the rains subside and the clouds clear from the southern highlands, the Ndutu region near the Ngorongoro Conservation Area becomes the starting point. Here, the soil is formed from layers of ancient volcanic ash accumulated over millennia, nurturing mineral-rich grasslands with high concentrations of potassium, calcium, and silica. The vegetation in this area grows rapidly and has a nutritional level 25% higher than the neutral soils farther north. That is why, from around January to March, the great herds of blue wildebeest, zebras, and gazelles converge here. Herds of Grant's zebras lead the flow of the Great Migration, as if an ancient memory of the journey is etched into their every stride. They move by memory, a biological map imprinted over generations. In the Serengeti Mara ecosystem, some 200,000 Grant zebras participate in the annual journey. Unlike the lean build of the wildebeest, the Grant zebra has a robust frame, weighing on average between 485 and 660 pounds. It is the smallest zebra subspecies, yet it possesses extraordinary endurance, enough to lead the Great Migration across the Serengeti. Its black and white stripes are not merely natural camouflage, they also help regulate body temperature, allowing the zebra to adapt to the dry heat of the tropical plains. As pioneers on the long journey, Grant zebras are the first to graze on the tall, coarse, and dry surface grasses that many other herbivores avoid. By consuming the tougher upper layer of grass, they expose the soft, nutrient-rich new shoots beneath, which is precisely the type of grass that wildebeest most prefer. This forms one of the greatest informal symbiotic relationships of the Great Migration. While the Grant's zebras lead the way, the blue wildebeest engage in one of the greatest birthing events on Earth. Each year, some 500,000 calves are born in just a few short weeks, in February and March, an average of nearly 8,000 new lives each day. This synchronized birthing is a sophisticated strategy to overwhelm predators like lions, hyenas, and cheetahs, which can only target a small fraction of this immense wave of life. After the calving season, when the young grasses have been grazed down and the ground begins to crack under the early summer sun, the true march of the wildebeest begins. The wildebeest outnumber every other mammal in the migratory cycle. Each year, some 1.5 to 1.7 million move as one. Of average build, a wildebeest weighs about 400 to 550 pounds. Their simple digestive systems are perfectly designed to absorb energy quickly from fresh grass. And because of this dependence, they are known as the followers of the rain. A wildebeest can sense rain from a distance of up to 30 miles. What sets them apart is the absence of a clear leader. There are no commands, no calls. The herd moves forward as a single entity through swarm intelligence. Wildebeest are the silent engineers of the ecosystem. By grazing on short, soft grass, they stimulate new growth. Their dung, rich in nutrients, replenishes the soil with nitrogen. By mid-year, the real trials begin. The rivers become nature's greatest obstacles. At the Grumeti River, as the newborn calves tire from the long journey, the pools of water become irresistible. Beneath the surface, hundreds of Nile crocodiles lie in wait. Some wildebeest are dragged under by the crocodiles. Others stand frozen, as they watch their kin being seized by the hidden giants. By July, the journey continues northward, where the Serengeti rises higher, the air is drier, and the sky is clearer. The northern Serengeti reveals a different beauty. Scattered kopjes, granite outcrops rising like fins from a sea of golden grass. Perfect observation points for lion prides tracking the herds from a distance. But by August, the Mara River changes everything. This river bisects the land, marking one of the most dramatic river crossings in the wild world. Unlike the Grumeti, the Mara is deeper, faster flowing, and filled with more crocodiles. Here, one of the most primal spectacles of life plays out. Thousands of wildebeest bellow, pushing against one another, leaping into the churning water, fighting to cross a gauntlet of predators. But in this tragedy, a paradox of life is revealed. The mass death of wildebeest during the river crossing is not an end, but the beginning of another life cycle. The adult Nile crocodiles in this region range from 11.5 to 16.5 feet in length, with dominant individuals reaching 20 feet and weighing over 1,500 pounds. Their skin is reinforced with small bony plates beneath the surface called osteoderms, turning them into veritable biological tanks in the water. With their eyes, nostrils, and ears all positioned on top of their heads, they can remain almost completely submerged while still being aware of everything happening on the surface. Their bite force is one of the strongest in the animal kingdom, easily crushing the bones of large herbivores like wildebeest or zebras. But instead of chewing, they clamp down with those teeth, drag their prey underwater, and execute a death roll with devastating results. At crossing points like the Mara, the arrival of the migrating herds marks the peak season for the Nile crocodile. When tens of thousands of animals plunge into the river in a single day, the crocodiles don't need to give chase. But the more animals that cross at once, the higher the survival rate for each individual. The wildebeest understand this instinctively. If they make it across the Mara River, they will reach the Masai Mara, the promised land of endless green pastures. From August to October, the herds rest here, grazing, building up energy, and preparing for the next leg of their journey. This is also when the wildebeest enter their mating season. Their resilience stems directly from the richness of the ecosystem here. The Masai Mara sits at an average elevation of 5,000 feet above sea level, with a more temperate climate and more evenly distributed rainfall than the southern Serengeti. The grasses of the Masai Mara are particularly nutritious, especially after the rainy season. The density of wildlife here is at times almost unbelievable. At the height of the dry season, the biomass of herbivores in the Masai Mara has been recorded at nearly 85,000 pounds per square mile. But this is not just a place for herbivores. The Masai Mara is also a predator's paradise. According to one survey, the lion population within the reserve is estimated at around 850 individuals. Leopards are recorded at a density of 6 to 10 individuals per 39 square miles, while spotted hyenas live in clans of up to 60 members. This high concentration of predators turns the Masai Mara into a battleground, where predatory instinct constantly clashes with the will to survive. Away from the noisy herds and the chaotic race for survival, the leopard chooses its own rhythm, silent, precise, and fiercely independent. Amidst the chaos of the Great Migration, it becomes a symbol of perfect stillness, a phantom that glides through the low bushes along the banks of the Mara and Talek rivers. Weighing between 66 and 132 pounds, it is still strong enough to haul a young wildebeest weighing over 220 pounds up a tree. Unlike predators that rely on the migratory season for an abundance of food, the leopard maintains a highly varied diet. From rodents, ground-dwelling birds, and fish to gazelles, young zebras, and impalas, anything can become a meal when the time is right. Although active year-round, leopards are rarely seen. They are present but invisible, leaving only faint footprints in the damp earth or a smear of blood on a tree trunk. The total population in the reserve is estimated at around 52 individuals, with higher densities in less disturbed areas like the Olare Motorogi Conservancy, Mara North, and the riverine forests. In the Masai Mara, they play a unique role in the ecosystem. When the Great Migration brings millions of wildebeest, zebras, and gazelles into the reserve, leopards do not rush into the chaos. They move along the fringes of the migratory mass, keeping an eye out for the young, the stragglers, or the weak. A female leopard has selected her target. Her body is pressed low to the ground, every muscle tensed like a coiled spring. She advances with silent patience, her sharp eyes locked onto her prey's every move. She inches forward, almost without a sound, thanks to her thick paw pads. When she is less than 16 feet away, the explosive pounce is launched. Lightning speed, a precise bite to the throat, right at the carotid artery. When she is less than 16 feet away, the explosive pounce is launched. Lightning speed, a precise bite to the throat, right at the carotid artery. The gazelle struggles, but the leopard's powerful jaws end it all in under a minute. However, to fully understand the drama of this hunt, we must look at the victim, the Thompson's gazelle. Although it participates in the Great Migration, this species follows a slightly different route, preferring the young grass, the super short, nutrient-rich shoots that sprout after the wildebeest have passed. Their numbers are smaller, around 500,000 individuals, and their journey is shorter. Many groups stop in the Serengeti instead of completing the full loop to the Masai Mara. Under the harsh Masai Mara sun, the ground trembles in waves as the wildebeest herds pour across the savannah like a living tide. But in that chaos, another chase begins. The cheetah does not hide in the shadows. It stands in broad daylight, its body taut like a drawn bow. Its eyes lock onto an unsuspecting target at the edge of the herd, a Thompson's gazelle. A lightning-fast burst of acceleration tears through the air. In less than 20 seconds, the cheetah reaches 75 miles per hour, the fastest speed ever recorded on land. Each stride covers 23 to 26 feet, its spine flexing like a whip, and its long, twisting tail acts as a rudder, keeping its body stable through razor-sharp turns. But the gazelle does not give up easily. It reacts instantly, swerving in an instinctive zigzag pattern. Those slender legs are not just for running, they are made for fighting for life. With its slender build and poor defenses, the cheetah avoids hunting at night when larger predators like lions and hyenas dominate. Instead, it hunts in the early morning or late afternoon. While the females are solitary, raising their cubs and often moving to protect them, the males tend to form tight-knit groups called coalitions, often composed of brothers. However, the cheetah lives on the edge of the food chain. Despite being a master of speed, it often loses its hard-earned kills to lions, hyenas, and even leopards. After every energy-draining chase, a cheetah must rest to recover, and that is when stronger rivals often appear. The kill-loss rate for cheetahs in the Masai Mara is as high as 50%. The intensity of the Great Migration means that life and loss are constant companions. Each year, over 250,000 wildebeest do not return. But it is this endless cycle that has shaped a vibrant and resilient ecosystem. The constant movement helps to renew the grasslands. The entire food web is activated by this seemingly simple act of migration. In all this movement, there is no script. Nature operates on its own logic, where every creature plays a vital role. And the Great Migration becomes a living symphony, sometimes chaotic, sometimes epic and tragic, but always profound and meaningful. If the Great Migration captivates with the sheer number of animals moving in an endless loop, then Kilimanjaro, Tanzania's final location on the list, makes its mark with height and solitude. Rising high above the vast plains, Mount Kilimanjaro commands the eye, not only with its 19,341-foot height, but also because it is a stratovolcano that belongs to no mountain range. Kilimanjaro is not only geologically unique, but also ecologically diverse across its elevation. The rapid change of climatic zones from the cultivated lowlands at its base to its icy summit makes it one of the most distinct altitudinal ecosystems on Earth. Scientists often describe it as a journey from the equator to the Arctic, where every step upward takes you into a completely new world. The colobus monkeys that live on this mountain are classified as the Kilimanjaro Giraffes, also known as the mantled Giraffes. A species whose striking coat has become an emblem of the misty highland forests. Unlike omnivorous monkeys, the Kilimanjaro Giraffes is a specialist folivore. Its diet consists primarily of leaves, including mature leaves with high cellulose content or mild toxins that most other primates cannot digest. Although this diet offers a significant ecological advantage, it is relatively low in energy. Consequently, the Kilimanjaro guareza tends to be less active, spending much of its day quietly digesting in the treetops. Despite its slow-paced life, the mantled guareza shows surprising agility when needed, a crucial survival skill in the multi-layered rainforests of Kilimanjaro. And finally, descending from 2,600 to 5,900 feet, Kilimanjaro reveals another, more serene landscape, where humans and nature coexist in harmony. At the foot of the mountain, where the low clouds drift along the slopes, and the border between Kenya and Tanzania is just a faint concept. The silent, steady footsteps of African elephants leave their mark on the red earth. Unbound by borders or fences, they are transboundary nomads. From the flooded plains of Amboseli during the wet season, African elephants move along ancient ecological corridors towards the northern slopes of Kilimanjaro as the dry season arrives. This is a form of strategic migration, not fixed in a strict annual cycle, but deeply influenced by rainfall, humidity, and shifts in vegetation. On this journey, some individuals stand out with remarkable tusks that nearly touch the ground, known as big tuskers. Living relics of a genetic line that has nearly vanished from most of Africa. The presence of legendary individuals like Big Tim provides compelling evidence of an ancient genetic line still being quietly preserved in the Kilimanjaro-Amboseli ecosystem. Beyond their iconic status, elephants are true ecosystem engineers. As they move, they break through dense thickets, creating paths through the dense forest and opening up natural corridors that benefit other species. While feeding on fruits and leaves, they inadvertently collect seeds and later disperse them through their dung, a highly effective method of forest regeneration. For the Taiga people, Kilimanjaro is not merely a part of the landscape, it is a part of their soul. They believe that the clouds that always shroud the Kibo Peak are the dwelling place of ancestral spirits, and the water that flows down from the mountain is a sacred gift from God. Let us now travel south, through the Miombo woodlands, across the sun-scorched savannas of Tanzania and Zambia, to a place where the land does not rise to the sky but sinks into the earth. We arrive in another world, the Okavango Delta, Africa's largest inland wetland. Unlike most of the world's major river systems that end their journey in the sea, the Okavango River stops in the heart of the Kalahari Desert. In 2014, UNESCO recognized this site as its 1,000th World Heritage Site, not only for its geographical uniqueness, but for its global ecological value. Here, the river flows into a vast inland basin with no outlet to the ocean. Each year, it discharges some 389 billion cubic feet of water, creating one of the most extraordinary natural spectacles on the planet. This volume of water spreads over an area from 2,300 to over 5,800 square miles. And at peak flood, the delta can expand to 8,500 square miles, an area nearly the size of the American state of New Jersey. The uniqueness of its flood cycle creates a rare paradox. The waters rise during the dry season, and life blossoms when the rest of the region is parched. At that time, the Okavango becomes a great gathering place for one of the most diverse and robust wildlife populations on Earth. The Nile is fragmented by dams, heavily polluted, and is losing its coastal wetlands. The Okavango Delta grapples with drought, oil exploration, and erratic flood patterns. The Sahara continues to expand, its desertification consuming its green fringes. To protect the Great Migration, the Masai Mara Conservation Center in 2024 adopted the Earth Ranger monitoring network along with LoRaWAN technology. This helps to track wildlife and combat poaching more effectively. On Kilimanjaro, although more than 85% of the ice has disappeared since 1912, reforestation programs at its base and visitor management efforts are being intensified. Along the Nile, farmers are beginning to adopt agroforestry methods to restore wetlands, encouraging the return of species like hippos and Nile crocodiles. Amidst the changing rhythms of nature, every small action from the community contributes to a larger change. Choosing responsible tourism, supporting transparent conservation projects, and minimizing waste, as well as practicing sustainable consumption, are ways we can help protect the Serengeti, the Nile, or the Red Sea without ever leaving home. The African savanna holds its breath, awaiting a miraculous transformation, as heavy, promising clouds begin to gather on the horizon. The first drops of water descend, initially as light, scattered sprinkles, but soon they swirl into a cleansing deluge, bringing life to the parched, cracked earth. In just a few short weeks, green erupts at an astonishing rate. Fresh grass carpets the ground, soft and nutrient-rich, heralding the dawn of a bountiful era. But amid this sun-drenched daytime paradise, an ancient and imperious sound erupts, shaking the very fabric of the fresh air. It is not merely a call, but a true physical weapon, the roar of a mature male lion. Unlike other great cats with triangular vocal cords, lions possess square ones, a marvel of evolution that allows them to produce tremendous sound with very little effort. This roar can travel for about 5 miles across the savannah. Its low-frequency sound waves not only travel through the air but can be felt deep within the ground, a declaration of supreme power etched into the very biology of this animal. In the world of the lion, sovereignty is reinforced by testosterone levels and the majestic appearance of a dark mane, an emblem of superior health and reproductive success. As daylight illuminates the plains, the presence of these apex hunters signals that the great feast of the hunt has officially begun. The rains have summoned the tireless footsteps of the Great Migration, bringing tens of thousands of blue wildebeest and plains zebra towards the short grass plains. Plains zebra move in social groups called harems, their black and white stripes creating an optical illusion of motion dazzle to confuse their enemies. However, in a world where abundance is always shadowed by high alert, a phantom of speed lies in wait, right in the brightest glare of noon. The cheetah does not stalk in the bushes. It stands boldly, exposed in the daylight, its body coiled like a drawn bow. Every muscle in its slender frame is a marvel of evolutionary design, poised for an explosive acceleration unmatched in the animal kingdom. Its amber eyes are locked onto a single Thompson's gazelle, grazing at the edge of the herd, a small but exceptionally swift target. Then, in a moment that shatters the silence, the cheetah bursts forward, a blur of muscle and dust. In less than 20 seconds, it reaches a staggering speed of 75 miles per hour, each stride covering 23 to 26 feet. To achieve this feat, the cheetah's spine flexes like a whip, while its long tail twists constantly like a rudder to maintain balance during high-speed turns. The gazelle reacts in an instant, executing a series of instinctive, zigzagging sprints to exhaust its pursuer. It relies not just on speed, but on sheer endurance, trying to outlast the cheetah's lightning-fast burst. Under the searing heat, the two creatures fly across the plains, with nothing between them but raw survival instinct and unparalleled stamina. Dust billows in the brilliant golden light as the chase reaches its climax. For the cheetah, every hunt is a gamble that expends a colossal amount of energy, compelling it to succeed to feed itself and its cubs. One final lunge, a collision of fur and bone, and the gazelle's fate is sealed in an instant amidst the swirling dust. Life is sustained by death, and under the vibrant rainy season sky, the order of the savannah is enforced with ruthless precision by its apex predators. Although food is becoming plentiful, every passing moment remains a contest of strength, speed, and the stealthy instincts of the great phantoms. This display of power and speed is but the opening chapter in a longer saga of the savannah's resilience. As the rains begin to thin and the sun begins to burn more fiercely, we will see these master hunters face a new, more formidable challenge: the depletion of life's very source. As the rains begin to wane, the savannah enters a phase of transition, subtle yet no less brutal. Beneath a scorching sun that has begun to crack the shallow mud pools, a deadly quiet descends upon the riverine forests. Here, in the dappled shade of ancient acacia trees, a true phantom of the savannah moves without a sound: the leopard. Unlike the cheetah, which relies on explosive speed in the open, the leopard is the embodiment of patience and latent power. Weighing between 65 and 130 pounds, its body is a marvel of biological engineering, built to be a master climber. With razor-sharp claws and muscular legs, it can grip tree bark, launching itself nearly 20 feet in a single bound to dispatch its target. In the bright light of day, its rosette-patterned coat becomes a perfect cloak of invisibility, dissolving the predator's form into the interwoven patches of light and shadow of the forest. A female leopard silently watches a herd of impala from above, her eyes burning with a terrifying calm. Patience defines this cat. It can wait for hours, gauging every shift of the wind and every rustle of a falling leaf, until an attack is certain. When the moment arrives, it descends like a thunderbolt, its jaws clamping onto the prey's throat in a fatal bite. But the true hunt begins only after the kill. With extraordinary strength, the leopard hauls the carcass, sometimes heavier than itself, high into the towering branches of a tree. This act is not just a feat of power, but a clever survival strategy to protect its prize from scavengers like lions or a hungry clan of hyenas. Up there, insulated from the chaos below, the leopard can enjoy its feast in solemn silence. Its remarkable adaptability allows it to eat almost anything, from gazelles to birds, fish, and even insects, helping it to survive the leanest of months. While the leopard reigns in the treetops, below the receding waters of the rivers, another ancient power waits with patience. The Nile crocodile, a giant that has existed for over 50 million years, is a master of the art of ambush. A fully grown crocodile can exceed 16 feet in length and weigh over 1,500 pounds, yet when it lies still in the murky water, it is almost invisible. Their scales mirror the color of the mud, and their absolute stillness makes them look no different from lifeless logs. They can wait for days, even weeks, for a single mistake from prey coming to drink. When an unwary antelope lowers its head, the silence is shattered by an explosion of power. The crocodile lunges at a staggering speed of nearly 40 feet per second, its powerful bite dragging the victim into the depths before it can mount any resistance. This is a battle of patience, where the one who remains calmer becomes the victor. Right alongside these bloody assassins, an ethereal beauty exists, a strange counterpoint of nature. The grey heron, standing almost 3 feet tall, with a coat of dignified slate-colored feathers, balances on one leg at the water's edge. It is a master of stillness. It can stand motionless for hours, its sharp eyes tracking the slightest ripple. When a fish or a frog swims by, the heron's long, spear-like beak strikes with absolute precision, ending the prey's life in the blink of an eye. The stillness of the grey heron is part of the rhythm of survival at the waterholes, where every creature must perfect its skills to endure. but not all choose silence as their shield. Guinea fowl, the noisiest and most energetic residents of the savannah, burst onto the scene with boundless energy. They move in large flocks, their rhythmic calls constantly echoing through the air. This clamor is far from meaningless. It is a sophisticated early warning system, a lifeline not just for the guinea fowl, but for other herbivores nearby. A single alarm call from a guinea fowl can travel nearly 500 feet, signaling to the entire savannah the presence of a lurking predator. Though they have wings, they rarely fly, choosing instead to flee at speeds of over 20 miles per hour, a tactic designed to discourage predators. As the sun reaches its zenith, the air begins to shimmer with heat, signaling that the bountiful phase of the rainy season is truly drawing to a close. Shallow water basins begin to vanish, and the waterholes start to shrink into thick, muddy pools. This retreat of life's source forces all creatures closer together, erasing the fragile boundaries of safety. Every square foot around the water's edge now becomes a potential battlefield for fierce encounters. Even the apex predators are beginning to feel the pressure of a scarcity that is slowly taking hold. We are witnessing the beginning of a more dramatic chapter, where physical strength and survival instincts will be tested to their limits under the unforgiving heat of the dry season. The wild is gradually revealing its true face, a place where beauty and brutality walk hand in hand. The dry season has truly besieged the savannah, forcing the once lush grasslands to retreat around the last precious waterholes. The sun scorches the earth, turning the air harsh and the ground white under the unforgiving heat of the day. The waterhole is no longer a mere place of refreshment, but has become the thin, brutal line between life and death. In this harshness, the spotted hyena emerges not as a cowardly scavenger, but as a calculated and powerful hunter. They are endowed by nature with limitless endurance, with a robust muscular system and a strong heart to sustain long pursuits under the blazing sun. The hyena's hunt is not a short burst of speed, but a relentless war of attrition, where they give their prey not a moment's rest. In their matriarchal clans, tightly ruled by dominant females, their laughter rings out as a complex and haunting social bulletin. This eerie sound is not an expression of joy, but a sign of high excitement or stress when competing for scarce resources. Their jaws carry a terrifying power, forged to crush even the hardest bones left on the savannah. At the edge of the shrinking water, a giraffe approaches with extreme caution, each step carefully calculated. They choose the searing heat of midday to drink, a time when large predators often retreat to find shade. To quench its thirst, this giant must perform an act of perilous self-exposure, lowering its long neck to the ground. Its heart must work with extraordinary power to pump blood so high against the strong pull of gravity. A sophisticated network of blood vessels in the neck acts as a natural pressure regulation system, protecting the brain from the sudden surge when it bends low. In this vulnerable moment, the giraffe's advantage of a panoramic view completely vanishes, giving way to a profound weakness against hidden dangers. Just beneath the turbid water, Nile crocodiles are waiting, as still and perfectly motionless as lifeless logs. They are the absolute masters of patience, able to wait for days on end to seize upon the slightest mistake of their prey. When the moment comes, an explosion of power will drag the victim into the depths before it can offer any resistance. This is a strategy honed over millions of years, where silence and stillness bring ultimate victory. The hippopotamus also finds precious protection in the thick mud, where its sensitive skin is shielded from the burning sun. Despite their bulky bodies, they move with a surprising grace along the riverbed, walking steadfastly rather than swimming. The temperaments of the dominant males become more irritable and aggressive than ever as their living space is constricted. They assert their sovereignty with resounding roars and powerful displays of territorial marking in the middle of the pool. However, hippos are also great engineers of the ecosystem, creating channels and retaining moisture in the land with their heavy footfalls. Amidst the threatening stillness of the dry season, the guinea fowl burst onto the scene with a noisy and tireless energy. Their rhythmic calls are never silent, forming a highly effective early warning network for the entire surrounding area. A single alarm from a guinea fowl can travel far, saving the lives of countless herbivores absorbed in quenching their thirst, their vigilance momentarily lapsed. Although they have wings, they rarely use them, preferring to flee with nimble speed to dishearten their pursuers. High on the withered branches, an African fish eagle observes the entire scene, a silent and majestic sentinel. With its vast wingspan, it is not only a skilled hunter of fish, but also a professional thief, ready to seize the prize of another. It dives like an arrow tearing through the air, gripping its prey in lethal talons before soaring high again, leaving its rival in stunned disbelief. At the waterhole now, competition is no longer a choice. It has become a brutal and merciless ritual of survival. Zebra, wildebeest, and buffalo converge here, churning the shallow water into a thick, suffocating slurry of mud. Every creature must adapt to this cruel rhythm or be mercilessly eliminated by the laws of nature. The symphony of the Savannah is shifting to a somber, pressured tone under the searing heat of the African sky. Life continues, resilient and indomitable, even as the last reserves slowly evaporate under the sun. The dry season is pushing all limits to their breaking point, preparing for the even greater confrontations to come on the sun-scorched plains. At midday on the savannah, the sun bakes the earth, as if to wring out the very last drop of moisture. The ground is white and cracked, the air shimmering under the fierce heat of a brutal dry season. Now, the waterhole is no longer a peaceful sanctuary, but a fiery arena where brute force reigns. From within a cloud of dust, the giants of Africa begin to emerge, their footsteps shaking the very landscape. Elephants do not come to the waterhole merely to quench their thirst. For For them, it is a ritual of life that flows through every precious drop. A full-grown elephant can consume a tremendous amount of water each day, and when the surface water runs dry, they reveal their instincts as master engineers. They use their tusks and feet to dig deep into the arid earth, uncovering hidden arteries of life for themselves and for countless other creatures. But in their extreme thirst, the dominance of the elephant becomes strict and unforgiving. A lone bull elephant approaches, confronting a black rhinoceros that stands firm like a living fortress. The elephant pauses, tossing dust into the air as a powerful warning, shattering the suffocating silence. The rhino, despite its volatile and tenacious nature, must finally yield to this unstoppable force, retreating into the shadows of the bush. However, the true threat of the dry season comes not just from these power struggles, but from the very trap of the mud itself. At a drying waterhole, another black rhino is struggling in a desperate fight against the earth. The thick mud, a consequence of the scorching sun, is pulling the giant's massive body down into an abyss of exhaustion. Under the glaring light of day, it is exhaustion, under the blistering sun, that is the most formidable foe. The savannah is a harsh, closed system where not a single fragment of life goes to waste. When a creature falls to the cruelty of the dry season, the masters of the sky will instantly spot the remains from thousands of feet above. Vultures descend, folding their vast wings to begin their work as mobile decontamination units. Every detail of their bodies is the result of millions of years of evolution for the purpose of scavenging. From their bare, clean heads to their beaks, which can tear through the toughest hide. But their true secret lies in their stomachs, a cauldron of intensely concentrated acid, powerful enough to destroy the most dangerous pathogens, such as anthrax bacteria or the rabies virus. Vultures do not just eat carrion. They sterilize the savannah, preventing death from spreading across the dying land. Joining them is the marabou stork, the ultimate opportunist, striding in with its dagger-like bill to claim its share of the chaos. Together, they perform nature's final act, recycling death into energy, ensuring that life will rise again from what is left behind. Under a cloudless sun, the savannah reveals its true face, a place where survival is measured by precision, endurance, and absolute adaptability. As the last waterhole becomes just a dry crack in the earth, life is forced to a final arena, where isolation creates the harshest rules of all. We are about to journey deep into the Ngorongoro crater, where dynasties will fall and new kingdoms will be forged in blood and power. Deep within the Ngorongoro crater, a primeval arena unfolds, where life is compressed within an enchanting, isolated caldera. This is a self-contained dominion, a closed system where the laws of nature are enforced with the most potent intensity. At the heart of this marvel is Lake Magadi, a shallow, alkaline lake with a soft pink hue, as if the sunset itself has spilled over and settled upon the salt flats. This is the kingdom of the lesser flamingo, creatures that wear a brilliant color distilled from the very harshness of the alkaline waters. The microscopic algae, spirulina, which thrives in this environment, is the source of life that dyes their feathers pink under the equatorial sun. The flamingo's beak is a marvel of evolution, a precise, natural filter that separates the life-giving algae from the salty water and mud. For these birds, Ngorongoro is a safe haven, a vital stopover when other Great Lakes in the Rift Valley begin to dry up. But beyond the ethereal beauty of Lake Magadi, on the ever-rustling grasslands of the crater floor, another battle for survival is being waged more quietly. The caracal, an elusive cat with extraordinarily long legs, is perfecting its skills as one of the most efficient hunters in the entire feline family. Its oversized ears stand erect like two satellite dishes, able to detect the faintest rustle of rodents hidden deep in the tall grass. When it detects a target, its spring-like legs launch it over 6 feet into the air, cutting off the prey's escape route with astonishing speed and precision. Their hunting success rate is impressive, far exceeding that of many larger carnivores, helping to maintain the delicate balance of the small animal populations within the crater. In the arena of Ngorongoro, where encounters are always face-to-face, another force reigns supreme through numbers and solidarity. The spotted hyena is the most numerous carnivore here, with a population that can reach nearly 500 individuals, divided into thriving clans across the crater floor. Far beyond their reputation as mere scavengers, the spotted hyenas of Ngorongoro are formidable hunters and true architects of the ecosystem. They thrive thanks to a tightly run matriarchal society, where alpha females hold absolute dominion. This strict hierarchy provides stability across generations, allowing them to coordinate effectively in both hunting and territorial defense. Their communication is an incredibly complex language, composed of giggles, whoops, and deep groans that echo across the crater. Through these sounds, the hyena clans summon allies or rally their forces to seize precious food sources during the dry season. A long-term research project here has tracked thousands of individuals over many generations, revealing their extraordinary resilience and adaptability in a highly competitive environment. The laugh of the hyena is not just the sound of excitement, but the echo of an ecosystem both fragile and profound, where every individual has its role. As the dry season pushes every limit to its breaking point, Ngorongoro reveals its true face, an arena of resilience, where the instinct to survive is celebrated to the fullest. Every creature in this caldera, from the small caracal to the mighty hyena clan, is a part of this epic of survival. There are no heroes or villains, only beings, striving to maintain the lifeblood of the land under the heat of the African sky. As the sun sets behind the crater rim, the pink of the flamingos fades on the salt water, giving way to the profound stillness of night. The vast landscape settles like an unfinished prayer, marking another day of pursuit and sacrifice. The waterholes may shrink, the grass may wither, but the pulse of Ngorongoro never stops. This cycle of survival will continue to turn, as fierce and magnificent as the very nature of the earth we all share. A new day will dawn, bringing with it new challenges and untold stories of the immortality of the wild.